Aaron.
Yeah.
Why didn't you say it the first time I said Aaron?
Because it's pronounced Aaron?
You done messed up, Aaron!
Aaron is right here, everyone. Good morning. Happy Tuesday morning. I can't remember the last time I did a live stream this early in the morning, 10 a.m. Eastern. Scientology done messed up again, you guys. Done messed up again. But can you blame them? When you're dealing with someone like William Gude, Streets LA, Scientology Audit, who's so good at what he does, Scientology makes forced errors. They make unforced errors. They're forced to revert back to their playbook of using the police, using the authorities, framing people, trying to get people taken down on trumped up charges, trumped up complaints. And that's what happened last night on Hollywood Boulevard, outside of Scientology's test center. Guys, I've said it over and over again, and I will keep saying it over and over again. The pressure is mounting on the Sea Org members, on the Office of Special Affairs, to figure out what to do about William Gude and the TikTok crew. Okay. They are not allowed, the people who work in that test center outside Hollywood Boulevard are not allowed to report their stats at the end of the week and say, our stats are down, but it's okay. There's a good reason. The TikTok crew is preventing us from being able to trick anybody from coming in. In Scientology, there is a phrase, it's a derogatory phrase called the why is God. Now, in this case, why, capital W-H-Y, is the core basic primary reason for something. The why. It should be the reason, but it's the why. And the why is God is a derogatory phrase in Scientology for blaming nature or existence for your stats being down, blaming something outside of yourself for your stats being down. If you say stats were down this week because there was a 1 in 100 years blizzard and the streets weren't plowed and nobody could get into the org, they would say the why is God. That's the why is God. That's not taking responsibility. Now in Scientology, instead of saying the why is God, what they should be saying is the why is Gude, William Gude. William and the people who are out there working with William on Hollywood Boulevard have really been putting on a clinic on how to keep Scientology from being able to trick new people from coming in and taking the personality test and watching films and buying books. And I'm telling you, Scientology is under the gun to figure out what to do about it. And they're not going to rest at anything short of arrests and restraining orders against William and other TikTokers. That is the playbook. They want to get a restraining order on William so that they don't have to be worrying about whether they can frame him on a day-to-day basis. They want to have a one and done permanent injunction restraining order against William being within a certain proximity of Scientology properties. That's what they did with Mark Bunker, Clearwater City Council member Mark Bunker, who back in the day was working with the Lisa McPherson Trust in downtown Clearwater and was staging similar protests and similar activist events around Scientology properties. And they ended up getting an injunction against Mark Bunker. That was almost 25, 30 years ago. It's still in force today. Mark Bunker's not allowed within a certain number of feet of a Scientologist. Now, it's a two-way injunction. Scientologists also are not allowed within a certain number of feet of Mark Bunker. But I'm just using that as a precedent of what Scientology will do, what they consider to be a success. Okay, so guys, I'm talking, of course, about the Scientology Audit YouTube channel. If you are not yet subscribed to Scientology Audit, that is William Gude's channel, aka Streets LA. Jump over and check that out. Okay, I have some timestamps. I'm going to share this video with you of what happened last night and how this came to be. So 29:14. I'm going to keep the sound on this next clip off because I'm pretty sure they're playing some copyrighted music. What you're going to see here is this gentleman center screen. He is basically singing, rapping, performing, and he's already been asked not to enter the premises. And what you're going to see him enter the premises. Now realize this is not one of William's friends. This is not one of the TikTokers. This is just a guy who showed up for clout because he knows how many people are streaming and watching what's going on here. So let's see this. You see he's doing his little performance and he has entered the building. Now, I can tell you, because I've watched this clip a bunch of times, people outside are not encouraging him to enter the building. They're not cheering him on. They're not hooting and hollering. They're not actually supporting what he's doing. He's just entering the building. And yes, he's being filmed by a bunch of people, but those people are not going crazy They're not like, yeah. They're not encouraging him. And I can say, you guys can watch the clip for yourself. Now, look, they're not telling him to get out, but they're not encouraging him to do that. He was asked to leave. He politely left. No physical contact was made. Nothing was damaged. And by the way, even though that guy was asked not to enter the premises before, and he should respect that wish. That guy has never been officially trespassed from that location. He was not violating any particular laws by entering the location. When he was asked to leave, he left. Okay, that's fine. So the cops show up. Let's see, 3552. Okay, at 3552, the police actually show up, and I will turn the audio on for this. So let's watch.
So a lot of these kids will use their pool and start doing stupid things, and that's not what you guys do. You gotta think, you gotta take a head. I sure hope this isn't drugs. That would be wild.
Now, guys, as of this moment, everyone thinks the police are just showing up because of a trespassing phone call.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Code 3. What did you guys come code 3 for? Wow. Code 3.
Emergency lights and everything.
I love how William knows all the lingo. I mean, I don't know any of the police lingo, but code 3, he explains, is when you show up to a scene with your lights and your sirens going, and you're running traffic lights, and there's a certain amount of danger involved in showing up to a location. Code 3, as opposed to, they know there's nothing particularly pressing going on at this location. The cops are very well aware of what's been going outside of the test center every day for the past 2 or 3 months or whatever it's been. Okay, so as of this point, they still think they're just showing up for, someone came into our building and we didn't want him here. Let's fast forward to 4409, when people figure out, by looking through the windows of the police car and looking on the dispatch screen and then the dispatch notes, they find out why the police showed up. Code 3. Okay, let's see. And actually, I forgot I got my timestamps out of sequence here. Before I show you that, I'm going to show you William telling everyone outside the test center, this is not what we do here. Don't show up and acting a clown for clout and putting what we're doing at jeopardy by giving Scientology a reason to call the police. Now that's at 38 minutes and 6 seconds. Bear with me here, folks. All right. Some salty language is used here. Let's check this out. Come on now.
4 cops. So again, I'm going to say this once again, and this goes for everybody. That guy who was here had nothing to do with us. But when you're going to come out here and you're going to go inside there, he walked off and we deal with it now. And we got to deal with it. So when you come out here, don't go and interfere with them. This place is already shut down. Not a single recruitment is being done. We don't need any of that clout chasing bullshit. Broda saw all those cameras and he want to do his little fucking dance in front of here to get on TikTok and YouTube. He walks away and now we fucking deal with their bullshit. This is now the 13th time the cops have come out here. We win every single time. But this time, they have a legitimate case because they told him to leave twice. It doesn't have to be this difficult. As he fucking rolled down the street. It doesn't need to be a clown show. We have this won. We don't need to give it away. If you're not here to fucking protest, if you're just doing it for clout chasing, don't fucking come out here.
Okay, good. That's the end of that clip. I mean, you really can't state it more clearly than that. And, this is a little bit inevitable. It's a little bit inevitable when you have so many eyeballs on what's happening out there. there is going to be a point where people just see it as, I mean, you guys know it's so much easier to abdicate responsibility for your actions when you're one of 100 or 200 people. You think you can get away with it. There's always going to be someone who thinks they can get away with it. The truth is, it's not only at this point, it's not only Scientology's that's got cameras everywhere. It's all the TikTokers, it's all the YouTubers, it's anyone live streaming on Twitter or anyone else. And the saving grace in this situation is that when you've got the main guy, the guy who started it all, when you've got him setting the tone from the top that we're not going to tolerate this bullshit, that's the saving grace here. Because the people who really want to support what William is doing, what Jessica Palmadessa is doing, Chris Without a Hellcat, Confident Chris, and the 15 other channels I just forgot to mention. I do have a list. I'm going to learn everyone's names and the names of everyone's channels. If you do want to support what they're honestly doing, then you're going to want to show up and you're going to want to help keep people from doing stupid things that give Scientology a reason to call the police. And yeah, so William really couldn't have said it more clearly right there. Now, again, even at this point in the video, they still think the police are there for a trespassing call. Okay, 44 minutes and 9 seconds is where they realize what actually happened. Okay, let's take a look at this.
What's it? Did you guys get a look on that screen too?
It says,
It's further away than that.
That's-
I got it right here. It says call from a female, approximately 4 minutes. Something protesters outside, kids going to bomb location, was going to bomb location.
Oh my God! They said that they claimed that we were going to bomb the location. That's why they came through, because none of that made sense.
If not, they will not. So
They called, man. They said the kids were gonna bomb the location.
Streets. Usually that happens on streets.
Okay. Now, a little bit later in the video, somebody realizes, oh, wait a second. Were people talking about that guy? And he does like improv rap. Were people talking about like him being the bomb or something like that? Like, is it possible someone said the word bomb, but they were talking about the bomb? Like his music is the bomb or he's the bomb or anything like this? Which, guys, let's lighten it up a little bit here. This throws me back to something that went viral on the internet a while ago, and it has to do with a bomb threat at a Home Depot, guys. So get ready for this. This is hold on. Am I sharing the right one here? Trigger warning, everybody.
KWCH reports a bomb threat at a Home Depot store in Kansas turned out to be a big misunderstanding. Someone at the store in Wichita called 911 after a customer reported they'd overheard the threat in the store's restroom. Police investigated. They say it turns out a guy said, quote, "Y'all need to get out of here because I'm fixing to blow it up." I'll leave it to you to put 2 and 2 together.
Okay. I hope someone goes through the streams from last night to try to isolate what it was that was said, when it was said, and what was being referred to. If there was any language that Scientology chose to take out of context and call a bomb threat. William ended his live stream. They waited for like 45 minutes for those police to come out of the test center to in the past, when the police have been called to go to the test center, and then when the police come out, William and other members of the TikTok crew asked the police and take the opportunity to get them to comment on the record that the call was completely unfounded. So, for a long time, we were watching the live stream last night, waiting for the police to come out so we could hear them comment on the record that the whole thing was completely unfounded. Now, William's live stream last night ended before the police ever came out. And so I don't know how the thing resolved. I don't know how it resolved, but I'm hoping enough people. I'm guessing. I'm just purely guessing, you guys, because Scientology, they do a lot of stupid stuff, but calling the police for a completely imaginary, fictitious thing, that would be a much worse look for Scientology than I think they're willing to bring upon themselves right now. I feel like someone must have at least said the word bomb, even in the context of, oh wow, this music is the bomb. And so anyway, I'm just hoping that someone goes through some of the footage and sees what it was that Scientology chose to take out of context, so that we can use that to just absolutely further humiliate their Office of Special Affairs fair game tactics, wasting tons of taxpayer money, wasting the LAPD's time. And but guys, it really should not be understated or underestimated the lengths to which Scientology will go to figure out how to put a stop to what is going on outside of the Hollywood Test Center. They will go so far as to use lawyers, to hire private investigators, to hire literal homeless people to just show up and create altercations in the crowd. They will even hire, I use homeless people just as an example of someone to go, oh, well, there's no way that person works for Scientology. That's a homeless person. And you go, no, somebody could have handed that person $100 to go walk through that crowd and create a ruckus. What does that person care? Like, Scientology will stoop to those kind of things. Guys, when it comes to faking bomb threats, that's even something Scientology has a history of doing. Paulette Cooper is a journalist who back in the day, I might get it wrong. I want to say the 70s, maybe it was the 60s. I was born in 80, so sometimes dates escape me from before that time. She was a journalist who wrote some not nice things about Scientology that they did not like, and they embarked on a very sophisticated campaign to destroy her professionally and personally. And one of the things they did was they got her thumbprint by pretending to be someone that was doing some sort of a political canvassing or surveying or petitioning or something. And they had her sign something, and she held the clipboard or something like this. And they got her thumbprint or her fingerprints. They also got some letterhead from a hotel that they knew she had stayed at. And they faked a bomb threat letter to an embassy in Paulette Cooper's name. And she was being prosecuted for this crime. And the only way anyone ever found out that Scientology was behind it was when the FBI raided Scientology's offices. Again, I always get my dates wrong in this. I still feel like we're talking about the late 70s. They raided Scientology's offices for a completely disrelated matter, found all these documents and found all the evidence of what they were doing to Paulette Cooper. Because for everything Scientology does, underhanded, illegal, they document it all thoroughly in writing. So framing people for bomb threats isn't even a new look for Scientology. That's par for the course. That's the original playbook. The former mayor of Clearwater, Gabe Cesaris, they tried to frame him for a hit and run car accident. They tried to frame him and set him up in a situation on a boat that involved some women, maybe some illicit substances. I can't remember right now, but they were trying to frame him and set him up for some compromising situation. It didn't work. I mean, guys, William Gude and the TikTok crew are humiliating Scientology and David Miscavige in a way that has not been done before. They've been humiliated before. They haven't been humiliated in this way before. They say Los Angeles is the home of the largest number of Scientologists in the world. On a per capita basis, there's probably more Scientologists on a per capita basis in Clearwater, Florida, just because Clearwater, Florida is a small town. But in Los Angeles, they say there's the largest number of Scientologists there. The Test Center on Hollywood Boulevard is probably one of the Scientology properties that has more foot traffic than any Scientology property in the world, or close to it. And if a bunch of social media personalities, and if that sounds like I'm being derisive, it's not. I'm a social media personality. Scientology, it would be derisive. If a bunch of social media personalities on YouTube and TikTok can bring Scientology's largest test center with the most foot traffic to a grinding halt, then how's anybody ever supposed to be afraid of Scientology again? Scientology is invested in making an example out of the people who are protesting, doing activist activities outside of the test center. Scientology is dedicated to making an example out of these people. They are dedicated to sending a message to the rest of the world that you better not try to do this anywhere else. But William Gude and Jessica Palmadessa and all the others are equally dedicated to sending the message. Ain't nothing to be afraid of here. These guys are a bunch of paper tigers. There's nothing they can do about what we're doing here. And that's why, in my opinion, it has been so important to William to disavow anyone who shows up to create trouble. No one needs the troublemakers. No one needs the troublemakers. But with this many eyeballs on what's happening there, the troublemakers are going to show up. And because they're going to show up organically, Scientology will take advantage of that by sending people in to look like they're just showing up organically. Be vigilant as ever. Don't and if you want to support what they're doing out there, then show up and help keep the troublemakers at bay. Show up and help keep it peaceful. Help keep it fun and playful. What they're doing there is serious, but in my opinion, the way William does it, the way Jessica does it, the way all the others do it, it's fun and it's playful. It's not mean. It's not vicious. If the security guards get vicious, anyone has the right to fight fire with fire. But what they're doing out there is fun, it's playful, and it's working. And there's nothing Scientology can do about it. But they're not going to give up trying to figure out how to do something about it. Mark my words. Priority number one for them is to get a restraining order on William Gude. They will do anything they can think of that they think they can get away with to make that happen. So stay vigilant, folks. Stay vigilant. The why is good. All right, guys, let's see a few super chats and then we'll wrap this up for this morning. Good morning, squirrels. Good. Thank you for the super chat and phenomena. Yes. Good morning, squirrels. By the way, this is one of the first times I've seen Scientology refer to non-Scientologists as squirrels. Squirrel in Scientology is supposed to mean somebody who takes Scientology and alters it, or tries to make it their own, or tries to form splinter groups. Basically, tries to change Scientology and claim that it's better, or something, or something like this. I've never heard Scientology call non-Scientologists squirrels, but that's what they've started to call William and Jessica and all the other guys. Okay, Arlene Potash. I messaged the performer and told him what happened. He was surprised. I asked him if Scientology paid him to walk in, and he replied, laughy face. What was he surprised at? I mean, I think the performer left after that because he knew the police were coming. Oh, maybe he was just surprised about the bomb threat part of the complaint. That would make sense. Okay. Popsicle people. The cops just left quietly. Nothing said. Wow. Wow. Adam Brown, absolutely effing love this show. Keep up the great journalism, bro. Thank you so much, Adam. I appreciate it. Guys, stay tuned. Later this afternoon and this evening, I've got so much more to come. Thank you for hanging out with me this morning. Thank you, as always, to everyone who watches until the very end, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe